Welcome back to the technically deficient UKNO podcast.
We back for the second time tonight.
We're back for the second time tonight. So let me just get a couple things out the way here. One, there is a lost episode of the UKNO podcast that you're never going to see. And I won't tell you why. It doesn't matter why, honestly. But there were technical difficulties. We'll leave it at that. And we didn't end up having everything we needed to put the episode together and out for it to actually make sense. We talked about quite a few things. We talked about gun reform, mass shootings, you know, all the beautiful things that everybody wants to hear.
We talked about diapers.
We talked about diapers. Oh, no, that was the one that did go out, the diaper one.
Was it?
Yeah, that was the one that did go out. It was after that. But either way, regardless, we now also went over our first two topics. There's only two topics for today.
Yeah, we recorded like 15 minutes of the podcast and then both realized that not only one of us wasn't recording, but both of us had not recorded a single word that we said. So we're here to run it back again. And, you know, it's just, if you're not doing it twice, it's not worth doing.
Did it even count? You know what I mean? If you're not doing it twice, does the second time even count? Like,
if a podcast doesn't get recorded, is anybody there to hear it?
No.
I think in this instance, no.
Fuck.
It's not even an argument like a tree falling in the woods.
So, welcome back to the UKNO podcast. My name is Mike Watts.
It's your boy Jay Kraft.
And before we even hop into stuff, we talk about arguments. And one that I was talking about today was what came first, the chicken or the egg, right? And I want to get your thoughts on this. What did come first, chicken or the egg?
The egg.
Exactly. Good. I had someone who was trying to tell me that the chicken could have come first, and I'm like, there's absolutely no way that the chicken came before the egg, because it would have had to have been some kind of mutated dinosaur or something, right? That had been birthed in egg form and then came out of chicken or whatever it was. So, yeah, I just want to get that out of the way first. Clear the air with the elephant in the room. You know what I mean?
Okay. And while we're talking about hypothetical questions, hypothetically,
tell me,
you're recording right now, right?
I sure am.
Okay, I just wanted to double check and get that out of the way.
I actually just clicked back to make sure I was recording right now. But yeah, we are recording. Don't worry. Okay. We're good at this.
One's
We're
going out to the
professionals.
people.
We've been over this. We're professionals. We have sound going through everything.
Should we jump into it?
Okay.
For the second time around tonight, we're talking NBA Finals previews.
Let's go.
You boys, we got it wrong.
Yes.
I want to go on record and say that I did have Golden State in the finals. So I'm cashing half my ticket.
This guy sucks.
But unfortunately, my boy Jimmy Butler got bounced. A fantastic Game 7.
Facts.
Boston practically had it in the bag the whole time. And then Marcus Smart just, he shit down his leg and missed 5 consecutive shots after kind of sealing the game with 2 free throws. And Jimmy Butler had a chance to make it. And unfortunately, fell short, hit front iron.
Damn. It happens to the best of them. I do wish the Heat the best. And kind of what you had said earlier is that the Heat is a young team in the place of, where the Celtics were at just a couple of years ago. So there's a lot of potential on that team. But at the end of the day, I don't want to look forward to other years. And I'll touch on this in another segment that we're coming up on today as well. But I don't want to look forward to other years in sports, because anything could happen, man. We could have injuries that happen, when random things that aren't even sports related. We could have crazy trades that completely change the dynamic of teams. It's not about looking forward in sports. You know what I mean? That's a very political answer that is whack, and I've been putting up with for so long as it comes to the Bulls, as it comes to the Bears, as it comes to a lot of teams, So the Heat, you missed this year. I put the bet on you. Fuck you guys. For the Suns, you missed this year. I put my bet on you. Fuck you guys. I'm never again going to be a Suns fan. Not in my life. Devin Booker, you're not even dating a Jenner anymore. So what's the point?
It's the Kardashian curse, man.
The Kardashian curse.
You should have seen that one coming.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But with that being said, we are now here to the finals, where we have the Warriors versus the Celtics. You listed off some fun facts when we,
Okay.
Messed up
Recorded,
earlier.
but didn't record.
Can we get those fun facts again?
Yeah, some fun facts about this NBA Finals and some storylines that we're going to bring to your attention before you hear them from the media, because we're on this shit. Steve Kerr and Ime Udoka are both Greg Popovich prodigies. They both played for Pop in San Antonio. Steve Kerr before Ime Udoka. Not at the same time. That would have been even crazier. They also both coached under Pop in San Antonio, and then they coached under Pop together at the same time for the U.S. men's team that year that Pop coached them. I want to say that was the 2014 Summer Olympics.
Okay.
Is that right?
I don't know.
Sometime around there. So you'll hear that a lot about that. This is actually the second year in a row that both head coaches are coming from the Greg Popovich tree. So fun fact there. Yeah. Okay. And then on the Golden State Warriors have not missed the NBA Finals when being in the playoffs while Steve Kerr has been head coach. 2015, won the Finals. 2016, lost the Finals. 17 and 18, won back-to-back with KD. And then in 2019, they lost in the Finals that year. 2021 and 2020, they missed the playoffs, and then this year they're back in the finals. So Golden State's hot, man.
Hot as fuck. Like, they're going crazy, and that's an absolute insane run that not only the Warriors but Steve Kerr is on. I can hear Joey Bags in the background. What's he yelling about, man? Tell him to shut up.
He's yelling about the dogs being fed.
Fucking dogs.
He's just trying to get a guest spot.
God damn it, Joey Bags. What you doing? No. So it's such an insane run that not only the Warriors have been on, but Steve Kerr as well. We were talking earlier about the fact that he came into the coaching role, you said, with 5 rings.
Yeah, he had 3 with Chicago. Sheesh. And then 2 with San Antonio. Sheesh. So my man's got bling.
That's crazy. You're coming with a whole hand of rings into the league as a coach, and then you walk out with 3 more so far. Like, does he stop when he fills up all the fingers?
As a head coach.
In the first 4 years. What? So
he's like the Tom Brady of the NBA.
I'm definitely excited for Golden State here to get another ring in this case. I do not like the Celtics. I do not care, Sam I am. But okay, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I think the Celtics are going to get blown out. And we had a bet that we had done when we were not recording. And I would like to reiterate the bet. That way we can get it on the podcast, get it on wax, and actually see it come to fruition. So what we had said is the series finals, Golden State versus the Celtics.
Series length, over-under.
Over-under
5.5 games.
5.5 games. So I have an opportunity, and I'm choosing the under.
Your boy's taking the over. I think this is going to be a good series. I'm taking Golden State in 6.
The NBA is, first of all, rigged. Okay. So everybody knows already how many games it's going, and they're going to want more money out of it. So I bet 6. And if it goes to 6 games, the NBA is rigged, and you can't tell me anything else. But I think it's going to be under 5.5 if we're actually talking teams. If we're actually talking the Celtics have played, you brought it up earlier, 3 Game 7s this year?
Mm-hmm.
What? That's a lot of play. I don't care how young they are. That's a lot of playing compared to Golden State, who's been pretty spick and span on their series this year. So I'm saying 4 or 5 games, we're done. And you were saying? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a really good series. I think it's gonna go at least 6, maybe 7, if we're lucky. It's all gonna depend on matchups. The matchups are gonna be fun to watch because Boston's a bit of a bigger team. You got more size, and Golden State's been playing a lot of small ball. I mean, shit, you got Draymond playing the 5, running Clay, Steph, Wiggins, and Mooney out there. Really small lineup. If they can get out and run in transition, it would not surprise me if we see Golden State win at least 1 game this series by like 20 points. Like, I'm talking one of those Steph and Clay runs where you blink and it's 12-3 at the start of the first quarter. Like, some wild fucking numbers.
Yeah.
But I also think that Ime Udoka is a good first-year head coach. I think he's very creative. He's shown throughout the playoffs that he doesn't crack under pressure, and he is making good adjustments to play to his team's strengths. So, I got Golden State in 6, and for my MVP pick, I'm taking Steph because I think it's fucking wild that my man has 2 MVP trophies, 7 All-Star Game appearances, 7 All-NBA teams, and 3 rings, and he doesn't have a single MVP Finals trophy. I think it's wild. So if I'm a betting man, I'm taking a 3-team parlay. Or a 3-play parlay. I'm taking Steph for MVP. I'm taking Golden State money line, and I'm taking the over on the number of games in the series at 6.
Damn. All right. Yeah, I had also agreed on Steph Curry MVP if it goes to that, because you were saying that the last years that they went to the playoffs and won the finals, it was Kevin Durant both times, which makes a lot of sense. He's a cheat code. Okay. But yeah, if they go all the way, I definitely think Steph Curry is going to be MVP. Money line for show, and under 5.5 games, because definitely Golden State could do that shit. And we said if whoever wins, right, so over under 5.5, the other person has to pick something that the loser has to do on the podcast, and it could be anything. So,
which is very open-ended and very scary, but I'm a man of my word, so I'm not backing out.
Let's go.
Because I know this shit's going 6 games.
It's on wax officially. It's definitely going 6 games because the NBA is rigged. Okay. So at that point, I'm down to take the L knowing that y'all motherfuckers are corrupt. It is what it is.
If we're exposing, it's okay.
It's a stop the steal thing. You know what I mean? If I win, of course I won because I was right. Okay. But if I lose, it was rigged. All right.
Shit. From one national sporting league to another, the NFL. We're talking a little Bears preseason, a little Bears OTAs update. My man Justin Fields was quoted by Pro Football Talk website. Quote, "We don't have big name wideouts, but we have talent." I guess he was doing an interview after some OTAs. And was responding to a question from a guy from Bleacher Report, and quote, "We don't have an Odell or a Cooper Kupp on our team, but at the end of the day, I think if everybody's on their P's and Q's and we're on top of everything and not making mistakes, the players we have right now are good enough." The front office thinks that too. The fans outside of the facilities, they don't know what's going on at practice. Just because we don't have a big name guy doesn't mean those guys aren't talented. I have plenty of confidence in myself and my teammates that we're going to get the job done. And I'm here for this positivity. I'm here for Justin Fields taking reins of this team and entering this season as a leader. I think he's been quoted, and he's been talking in the media about how that makes a big difference for him in his approach this season. He's much more at ease. He knows it's his team. He knows it's his offense, and he knows what they're expecting out of him. And he's ready to show up. So I still don't think the record is going to be very good at the end of the season. However, I think that our play on the field will be significantly better than what our record will reflect. I think it's going to be one of those years where we're looking at those games. We're like, damn, okay, well, we lost by a field goal here. If we don't have this stupid false start penalty that backs us up and turns a 3rd and 3 into a 3rd and 8, and if we don't have a pass interference call here from the rookie safety, and if we don't have this, blah, 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 I think we're still a year or two out from being a serious playoff contender, especially with Green Bay bringing back Aaron Rodgers. Minnesota's still a really good team. But I have some confidence in Fields, and I have some excitement about him, which is nice to have for a change.
Okay. I could feel the excitement. You know what I mean? I think the one thing that I said earlier is that I'm tired of the next year talk. You know what I mean? I need Justin Fields. I need this team to get together. Y'all are professional football players. Let's not have those stupid mistakes that the Bears always make. Let's not have those, leave it to the ref type calls. You know what I mean? The more we can avoid, the more we can claw our way back towards a 50% record. And I'm so tired of being shitty-ass losing Bears, second worst team in the NFC type thing. Man, beating the Lions isn't good enough for me anymore. I need more. And losing to the Lions would be even worse. But that's where I'm at. I need it to actually start working out.
Losing to the Lions isn't exactly something that I think is 100% this year. But, I mean, that would just be the most Bears thing ever to just lose that last game against the Lions after getting steamrolled by a bunch of playoff teams. Like, you can't tell me that doesn't just scream Chicago Bears football.
Maybe I just stopped being a Bears fan. You know what I mean? I haven't been a fair weather fan my entire life. Maybe I just stopped watching football. Maybe that's really what it is. If something only hurts you, leave it. I don't care if it's a relationship. I don't care if it's the Bears fandom. I don't care what it is. If something is hurting you, I don't care if it's an addiction, you got to seek help and you got to leave. It's the only way to move on, y'all. It's the only way to move on.
I've been saying it for years, the most toxic relationship in my life, and I think I've said it before on this podcast, is my relationship with the Chicago Bears football team. And you know what? I refuse to learn. I'm not ready to get hurt again. But in maybe a year or two, I'll be all in, and I'll be ready to get my heart broken again.
In a year or two. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. Well, fossil fuels is going to kill us all next year. I don't have time anymore. It's time to get a Bears championship under the belt. That way we can all die happy.
I'll take it.
All right, last sports story of the day, and this is one that I threw in here last minute because I had just found out about it. And I threw it in at the end because I wanted to close out on a good sports note after the Bears. But this is technically NBA news. Speaking of the Celtics specifically, Jaylen Brown off the Celtics has allegedly just signed to Donna Sports under Kanye West. What?
Has Aaron Donald.
True, but Jaylen Brown being the first active athlete to... You know what I'm saying?
No, because Aaron Donald's still active.
Fuck that guy. No, I'm just kidding. Really? Where does he play? He's in the NFL, right?
Yeah, he's in the Rams. He won... I want to say he won Defensive Player of the Year last year.
He definitely did on the Rams, yeah.
He's top 3 defensive players in the league right now. Mm-hmm. He has, however, flirted with the idea of retiring. I think he's got 2 more years left on his deal, but I guess it was quoted in some sort of article that Aaron Donald is hoping that his signing with Donna Sports opens doors for him for things outside of football, whether while he's still under contract or after he's off of contract. So, I mean, I think that's kind of cool.
So he's not technically active. He doesn't have a contract right now.
No,
he's not in season. He does?
He's not in season. He's still signed on a contract.
Till how long? Is that going through next year, at least?
I want to say he's got 2 more years on his deal, if not 3.
All right. I can see either way.
He's in the prime of his year, but this apparently it was in the news and it had kind of surfaced that these 2 guys were signing a contract with him maybe a month ago. But I guess all of the news it just became formal and official today.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of cool. I mean, looking at the Donda Sports website, you can't do anything except for buy an overpriced sweatshirt, shorts, or pack of high top socks.
Amazing.
So, I mean, there's still a lot to be explained as to what exactly, like, is it an agency? Is it a marketing group? Is it going to help them get advertising deals or sponsorships? Like, I don't really know what it's going to be, and I don't think Kanye exactly knows what it's going to be. But he's definitely got a budding superstar in the NBA and a certified superstar in the NBA or in the NFL. So
let's go, baby.
Keep tabs on that one. You know what I mean?
Kanye wants to bring Jaylen Brown to, quote, superhero status during and long after his playing days. So we'll see what that actually turns into.
Okay. Somebody give my man a cape.
Haley, whatever. Okay. Let's talk about this new movie, man. I've heard about this movie, but you got to actually explain what's going on here, because it seemed like it wasn't actually as related to the source material as... talk to me.
No, yeah, and I don't think there aren't any like trailers or videos out of this yet. Nothing is formally out. But there is several images that have surfaced. I don't know if it was leaks or if it was intended for these to be released. But Winnie the Pooh looks scary as fuck, man.
Okay.
Like, like my childhood dreams are in I don't know what to think.
Yeah, I mean,
It
so
looks
Winnie
like
the
somebody
Pooh,
just
Blood
took
and
like
Honey.
Christopher Wallace's friends and just turned them into Saw characters.
Christopher Robin.
Okay.
I think.
Christopher Robin.
But yeah, definitely Saw characters, and especially the pig. So the piglet one, it has like the the boar, teeth coming out of the mouth and
The
stuff like
tusks,
that.
yeah.
The tusks, yeah. And it's just horrifying is the word for sure. But it doesn't seem like it's actually related to Winnie the Pooh whatsoever. Like, it seems like it's just guys that are dressed up as these characters and going around murdering people,
Okay.
doing their thing. But, like, it doesn't seem like everyone who's explained it to me has been like, oh, it's a reimagining of Winnie the Pooh as, like, a serial killer. You know what I mean? And that doesn't seem like it at all. It seems like a serial killer who wears a Winnie the Pooh mask. So it's like, even if that's the name, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, I feel like it's clickbait. You know what I mean? It's trying to get people of our age group specifically to go out and see this movie that it looks like a standard horror movie, which I'm going to go see because I love horror movies, but I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go see it. And I think this will be like one of those box office smashes. That is if it does come out. Yeah, because everybody of our generation and older, and even probably some people younger than us, they're going to see this and they're going to see Winnie the Pooh. They're going to see the trailer and they're going to see these masks and they're going to go. Like, I'm going to go see that movie just because it's Winnie the Pooh as a serial killer. Like, that concept in and of itself, I'm going to want to go see that.
All right, well.
But it also may ruin a childhood character for me. So we'll see.
I don't think it's going to ruin anything. Like, if we're talking about ruining childhood characters, that's where you would have the fan art where, like, they draw Winnie the Pooh in the exact style of Winnie the Pooh, like, murdering people and stuff like that. You know what I mean? If we're just talking about these are masks that don't even look that much like the original characters, if you name this something else, I think this is my point. If you name this something else besides Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, say that 3 times fast, but you name it something else, it wouldn't even be connected in our minds, really. Like, you'd see the mask and be like, oh, that's weird. But, you mean, that looks like Winnie the Pooh, but it's like a bastardized version. You know what I mean? This doesn't remind me anything of my childhood whatsoever. It reminds me of serial killer
that
movies.
Mask, the Winnie the Pooh character, the piglet character just looks like a feral hog. It looks like
a boar.
like
Yeah, that's it.
Caricature of the Arkansas Razorbacks, like, logo. But
Wow.
Winnie the Pooh looks like Winnie the Pooh if he worked a 9 to 5 at a steel mill and was addicted to Pall Mall Slims and like pills.
Word.
And all he ate was McDonald's, and his idea of a good pizza was a Little Caesars hot and ready.
It does sound
That's
like
the
good
kind
pizza.
of vibes that Winnie the Pooh is giving off right now.
Dead facts. That's what I'm saying. Like, this doesn't really feel like the Winnie the Pooh I grew up with, but hey, I'm to each their own. Maybe some people are gonna grow up with this one. I feel bad for them.
Okay.
But it looks like a good
I'm
movie.
100%
definitely
going
gonna
to
it.
see that, though.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. All right, from there, what I don't actually know too much about this next one. You're gonna have to enlighten me, my mans.
Yeah, I think details are still coming out because this all happened yesterday. But from one sociopath in Winnie the Pooh horror movies to another sociopath, a man disguised as an old woman in a wheelchair attended the Louvre in Paris and threw a piece of cake at the Mona Lisa, was quoted saying, "Think of the earth. There are people who are destroying the earth. Think about it. Artists tell you, think of the earth. That's why I did this."
Okay.
And, I mean, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
No.
Apparently, there was another video after this of some security guards just calmly walking up to the Mona Lisa and clearing the cake off of the protective glass covering of the Mona Lisa, because they don't just have that shit out there for people to deface.
Exactly.
This isn't 1920. Okay, we have technology, like glass, But the 36-year-old man was later detained and sent to a psychiatric unit, which brings me to kind of my point here. Just imagine ending up in a prison psych ward and starting a conversation with somebody. Oh, why'd you get here? I smeared cake on the Mona Lisa. And you end up in a fucking psych ward.
I bet that wouldn't be the craziest story in the psych ward, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. One, I don't necessarily think he needed to dress up like an old lady, because from what I'm hearing, he did have a wheelchair and stuff as part of his costume. I heard he had, lipstick and a wig on and stuff like that. Must have been pretty convincing. Or maybe they're just like, I don't know, man, just let this person go through. Like, it's just a person, and there was no real need to dress up like an old lady. But okay, that out of the way. He did try to break the glass on the case first. Apparently.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and apparently he hopped up out of the wheelchair before actually doing all of this other stuff. Hopped out of the wheelchair, tried to break the glass. It's bulletproof, so you're not going to break that. And then smears cake on it instead. And this is how I found out about it. He's like smearing cake, and this group that I posted a picture of it, and I was like, what the hell is going on? But yeah, and then he's talking about the environment. Like, this also isn't the most environmentally, relevant way that you could protest that, I guess. So yeah, I think there's a lot going on in his mind, and they must have thought that, this guy has a couple screws loose. Let's go ahead and put him in the psychiatric facility, because even the protest doesn't really make sense for what his message was supposed to be. Good.
Yeah, I don't really
Okay.
see how cake ties back to saving the planet and to global warming awareness, unless there's some deep-seated, deep corner of the global warming internet where cake means something.
Like, let them eat cake type thing, like a Marie Antoinette.
Maybe. I don't know. But what I'll say, regardless of the fact, is we're talking about it.
Exactly.
So it clearly worked in some capacity.
And that's why it was the Mona Lisa, right? Is because it's just a high-profile painting. So then now we're going to talk about it. Boom. You accomplished, guy.
Okay.
Whatever your name is. What is it going to do? Are people who are actually polluting the earth going to be like, oh, damn, he almost got to the Mona Lisa. Almost. He was real close. We better stop.
Yeah, do you think Boris Johnson and Emmanuel Macron and Joe Biden and Justin Trudeau all hopped on like a fucking conference call as soon as this posted on the internet and was blowing up on Twitter? Like, holy shit, Joe, did you see them smearing cake on the Mona Lisa? We got to do something about this. We got to lower our carbon emissions.
Okay.
We got to put some money behind the wind turbines. Offshore wind is going to be a thing. We got to get in there. We got to give tax credits to these homeowners so that they can get solar panels on their house.
Yes.
The cake, Joe. We can't have them putting cake on the Mona Lisa.
Yes. That's what's happening right now. You didn't know? I've seen that. That's already in the
didn't
headlines.
know.
Yeah, this is big. This guy
You must
actually
be like
changed the
super
world.
in.
He changed the world already. We just don't know it yet.
Okay.
How much you want to bet that's what he's telling all those people in the psychiatric ward?
I have changed the world for the better. Do you know what his nationality is?
I have no idea. I don't even think they've released his name, but he did speak in French. So
Yeah, I
I'm
was gonna say,
assuming that
alright.
he's French or maybe Canadian.
I feel like that's such a French thing to attack the Mona Lisa. I'm going to the Louvre to change the world. Hell no.
And it's also, you're going to an art museum how did nobody see that this man had just like a cake on his person?
Well, maybe that's the thing. Maybe they thought it was an old lady, and they were like, oh, you can have cake in here. I don't know. Maybe they don't actually require you to get rid of any food and stuff. Maybe you can go to the Louvre after getting some dinner, get a little dog bag for the rest of it.
Getting a
Hit the
baguette.
Louvre. Yeah, a baguette at the Louvre. Yes, oui. I don't know. This guy...
Coming smelling like black coffee and cigarettes.
Welcome to France. This guy changed
Welcome
the world.
to France.
He changed the world, man, and that's all I can talk about. From one French-speaking country to one of the only other French-speaking countries, for real, Canada. Actually put together some gun reform. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, so this was in the news. I believe this broke yesterday.
Okay.
The Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, introduced legislation on Monday that would put a freeze on importing, buying, selling, or transferring handguns. Basically, in his words, we are capping the number of handguns in this country. It will be illegal to buy, sell, transfer, or import handguns anywhere in Canada. So this is in addition to the plans already in place in Canada to ban roughly 1,500 types of military-style firearms, and in turn offer a mandatory buyback program that begins at the end of 2022, beginning of 2023. He's been quoted as saying that if somebody for some reason really wants to keep their assault rifle, we will let them keep it, but we will render it completely inoperable.
Damn.
Which, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I think it's not in this AP article, but I did see it referenced and mentioned in other articles and some news outlets talking about magazine capacities for rifles.
Okay.
One of the things they're trying to push for is limiting magazine capacity to, I believe, 5 rounds for any sort of rifle, which makes sense because,
yes.
I mean, if you're using a rifle for something other than target shooting or sport shooting or anything like that, you're using it for hunting. And if you're hunting an animal that requires you to use a rifle in any sort of capacity, it's probably a big animal that's pretty mobile. Let's take, for example, here in the U.S., just a white-tailed deer. When somebody is teaching you how to hunt deer or you're taking any sort of course, there's an utmost importance put on the animal. And only taking a shot if you have a clear shot to kill the animal in one shot. You're not shooting an animal on the run. You're not putting one in its chest and then shooting it in the ass as it runs away just to try and down it, because you're causing more suffering to the animal. So they heavily encourage you to look for broadside shots where you have a clear line of sight to the vital organs that are going to put this animal down as quickly as possible so as to prevent the animal from coming under any undue harm or suffering. And if you think about that, you don't need a 32 round magazine to go hunting. You need a 32 round magazine to go to a school and to slaughter a bunch of innocent people. Weapons with that style of magazine and that capacity were only designed for one thing, and it was for war.
Whoa.
So there's no, in my opinion, no justifiable reason to have something like that other than I think guns are cool and I like going out and shooting them. Which brings me to the other point here.
Okay.
The U.S.'s comments, because we talked about it on the lost episode that never was, but I don't think this type of policy would ever work in the U.S. Joe Biden has already come out in favor, or in opposition, not necessarily of this move or this policy, but saying that he doesn't think this type of policy would ever work in the U.S. and would ever be sustainable in the U.S., quite frankly, because all of those "you can't take my guns" people, if we want to get down to cold hard facts, there's probably a good portion of them that would probably shoot at people before they handed over their firearms willingly.
Oh, yeah.
And Kamala Harris has come out and made comments stating that we need to look into a way of implementing an assault rifle ban. So it's going to be really interesting to see how all of this unfolds in the next coming months in the U.S. and to see if anything, like even the most minute gun legislation, gets passed here in the U.S. Because for years it's been just a circle of mass shooting, thoughts and prayers, arguing on social media, nothing getting done, mass shooting, and just continue the cycle.
Yeah, and it sucks, but I also don't know much about Canadian constitutions or their, inalienable rights or whatever the fuck. But I imagine that the right to bear arms is not as prominently in their constitution as it is for ours. So that's kind of where that comes in, you know what I mean? So as much as I don't think guns are going to get banned in the U.S., I respect a lot of the steps that Canada's taken, you know what I mean? The magazine capacity for show. Banning on assault rifles, I don't know, kind of. I had a lot to say in the Lost episode, and I'm lackadaisical as it comes to it now. I'm desensitized this week as compared to last week. So, we'll see. That's all I got to say on it at this point. We'll see. If anybody puts through some gun legislation, I'm in support. That's all I got.
Well, they have some other aspects of the proposed bill that make sense. Like they have some red flag laws included in this legislature that would require people deemed to be a danger to themselves or others surrender their firearms. The measure would guard the safety of those applying through the process and would be applicable to people that are convicted of domestic abuse cases, people with records or history of suicide and suicidal ideations and things like that. So a lot of just the kind of common sense shit that people are talking about here. Like, have you seen those memes comparing how we regulate cars and being able to drive to gun ownership?
Yes, I have.
Like, that would be the easiest gun legislation to put into place. Like, okay, you want to buy a gun? Okay, you have to go through training. You have to pass a test. You have to continue to pass periodic tests in the future. There's a certain point or a certain age where you may not necessarily need it. There's things that you could do that would revoke your ability to own a gun. And he says something else in this article that I think is where Canada is super different, and a lot of countries are super different from the U.S. In Canada, gun ownership is a privilege, not a right. This is a principle that differentiates ourselves from many other countries in the world, notably our colleagues and friends to the south. Yeah. That was nice. Bill Blair, Minister of Emergency Preparedness in Canada, which I think he makes a really good point. Here in the U.S., because of the Second Amendment, it's your right to own a gun. And it does say that, but it also says to form and take care of a well-regulated militia. You know, Joe Blow in southern Alabama, who has a fucking arsenal in his spare bedroom because it's his right to own a gun, isn't part of a well-regulated militia.
Oh, no.
He's just some hick that has nothing better to spend his money on than guns.
Okay.
I'm tired, man. Yeah.
I think if our forefathers could have seen into the future, they would have rewritten that, because there's no way that they could have foreseen us coming up with these weapons of mass annihilation of the human population. Because when they were making the Constitution, it would take you a minute and 20 seconds to get off one shot. So a mass shooting wasn't even something that was possible. So if you want to go back to, it is your right as a U.S. citizen to own a musket, a muzzle-loading black powder rifle, I'm here for that. That's dope. I think everybody should have one of those because it's cool to just put up on the wall and look at.
Okay.
But if you're trying to come at me and tell me that every individual should own a 32 capacity magazine in an AR-15 or some sort of other high-powered assault rifle, I'm not necessarily here for it.
Okay.
I agree, man.
And I'm gonna step down off my high horse.
That's what I'm saying. Is I'm tired, and this is why I'm tired. And it's because we take so much leeway. We take so much of our, doctrine from things that were written 200 years ago, from things that were written 2,000 years ago, from things that were written before that even. It's like, oh, God, can we think for ourselves for a second? Can we be like, oh, yeah, that guy doesn't need to have that many guns, or like guns that are high capacity or armor piercing. You know what I mean? Can we talk about like? I mean, I'm just tired. You know, it's one of those things, and I know I'm not going to change it.
You shouldn't be able to go into a gun store on your 18th birthday and buy 2 assault rifles when you can't even go to a liquor store and buy a 40 legally. That's just like, that's common sense.
Yeah, you should be able to buy all of the above at 18, completely legal.
Yeah. If you can enlist in the army and go over to Afghanistan to get your legs blown off in a war that started over some bullshit, government contracting, racketeering.
Happy Memorial
Now
Day,
we're getting
y'all.
deep down the now we're getting deep down the rabbit hole. Should we talk about some happy stuff?
Ish, whatever. This is the end of the this part of the podcast, and here we go on to the part that makes me feel happy inside.
It's the 3x3.
Yeah, baby.
I think I broke Mike today.
I've been broken, man. I've been broke. I'm broken. What's up? Teach me about these shoes, boy. Which
We
one
hit
we
the
on?
cop or drop.
Let's go. What's up? What's
Cop
first?
or drop. We starting off with a delayed release from Nike with the Nike SBs. These are the St. Patty's Day lows, dropping about a month and a half after St. Patty's Day.
Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
These are heat. From the gum bottom, the gum sole, to the white midsole, to the gold shiny swoosh, to the Celtic green on the upper, to the white shamrock, to the gold Nike on the back. These are a fire shoe. I love SBs. I don't have a pair in my collection, but I really want one, and this might be the one where I pull the trigger on it and just say fuck it and buy them, even though they're crazy on the retail. What you think?
Boom. So what are these for you?
These are cop.
Yeah, shout out. I, while not as violently Irish as you are, also love SBs.
Okay.
These are cool. These are all right. I've said on the show before, I can't do no suede shoes, man. I'm seeing the suede. The green for me, I'm not really a green shoe guy. I had a pair of green shoes in high school that I really loved, but nah, these are a little too green for me. Green and gold. I'm not no leprechaun, man. These are a drop for me. Like,
Come on, man.
I really can't justify. I really can't justify it. I love SBs more than the next person, but I don't identify nearly as this Irish to rock these. One day a year that I can rock them, and it would have to be St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
Shit, even if you're just wearing them one day a year, it's worth it.
They're a little gaudy in my opinion. I don't know. Yeah, drop. There's a drop. What's next?
Okay.
Unless you got something else to say about the Macklemore
No, bro,
ones.
those are some hot shoes.
The SB
Those,
Macklemores.
no. The SB Macklemores, that would be pretty dope. But I feel like the SB Macklemores would be more along the lines of like a what the style.
The Shea
where it's
Dunks.
just crazy patchwork all over the place. The right shoe is different from the left shoe. It would be like taking a random fabric swatch basket from Goodwill and just throwing it on a dunk and seeing what sticks.
Oh my God, the Shea Dunks.
I think
I'm gonna
those
call
would
them
be
the
kind
Shea
of fire
Dunks.
though. The Shea
Design your own
Dunks.
shoes, man. That's what we need.
I like the Shea Dunks.
What's the next?
Next, we jump into a Jordan 1 mid. This is the blue mint colorway.
Is it mid?
Is it mid?
Is it mid?
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, I like this colorway, and if it was a Jordan 1 low or maybe a high top, I'd be more about it. But this shoe is a drop for me strictly because it's a Jordan 1 mid. It's not my favorite. I love Jordan 1s, preferably the highs. The mids kind of look a little goofy to me.
Yeah.
I have one pair of Jordan 1 mids, and it's just it's a colorway that's too dope to pass up. I love this colorway, but it's just not really speaking to me, so it's a drop.
I'm also gonna have to go with a drop on these. The haters back in town, baby.
Okay.
Double drop.
These are whack, in my opinion. One, because they're a Jordan mid. Jordan mids are whack. And I mean, the Jordan 1 mids are whack. I don't like it. If you want a high top shoe, get the high tops. You know what I mean? It's usually, and I don't quote me on this, or do, because I said it. It's usually short girls that rock Jordan 1 mids. Mm-hmm. And it's because they can't rock the high tops because their legs are too short. You know what I mean? And it would just be like...
Because the high tops go about halfway to their fucking knee.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a little too big for them. And then the lows at that point, if you're going to get Jordan 1 lows, get Air Force 1s, man. And I think people realize that. And people like in the TikTok generation are very into the Air Force 1 lows. So these being a Jordan 1 mid... I already got to say drop, but 2, the color scheme is just not it for me. Like this kind of gross mint ice cream color, which I don't like, seafoam vibes, mixed with the navy blue. Like, nah, it's not it for me, man. Double drop.
Double drop. These right here are the one and only pair of Jordan 1 mids that I will ever own.
Those are pretty nice. I like the color on
Because they're
those.
just heat.
Yeah,
the
the
colorway
color's
is
cool.
dope. It's
But wouldn't
blue
those be
grape
better in high top
colorway.
form?
Oh, 100%. I'm not denying that.
Boom. Boom goes the dynamite.
I'm just saying I have one and only one pair of Jordan 1 mids, and that's all I'll ever have.
Okay.
Take me to the last shoe, my boy. What we got?
Last shoe, another it's kind of a weak in shoes. These are the red Oreo 6s. Pretty plain colorway. You've got a translucent clear sole with a little bit of a red with a speckle white on the upper right above that, and then you got the speckle red on the lace keeper and on the back on like the ankle stop. I don't know what the technical word for that is. It's just kind of a boring shoe. I mean, it's just blah.
Yeah.
That's all I got. These are a drop for me.
Damn. So, only because I've been Mr. Hater all day, I'll go ahead and say that these are a cop for me.
Are you saying that because you mean it?
Ish.
Okay.
So, the things I do like about the shoe, I think that the speckle, like the white speckling on the red parts of the shoe, is really cool. I do think that a fully white shoe is really easy to keep clean. You know what I mean? My Air Force 1s that I love are fully white, except for, some hints of color. Really easy to keep clean. So it's just a clean shoe. It's simple. It'll go with any outfit where you're wearing any kind of red or any all black fit or something like that. It's simple. And I mean, what's the price tag on these?
Retail, I want to say these are, let me find it. Where is it?
If it's over 220, over 230, I'm changing it to a drop.
It's 200.
Alrighty then. No, I could cop these. I wear them all the time. No. And would I actually cop these in real life? No. But hey, for the sake of the podcast and to save myself from pure haterdom, yeah, these are cop.
I think these would be a cop for me if you had just that red speckle somewhere else. Like if you had the red speckle on maybe the zigzag upper or somewhere on the actual shoe and not just on like the lace keeper or the soles, it could be a cop for me. I don't know, man. It's just kind of boring.
Okay.
I like a little bit more color in my shoes, you know what I mean?
I hear that shit, man. I definitely hear that. So I'll take my one cop for the day, but it's been a rough day shoe.
I'll take my Irish ass SBs.
I definitely came out on top for that. If I cop the last Jordans and you cop the Irish SBs, I won. Period.
Okay.
That's
I
all
disagree,
I gotta say.
but maybe
I
we
know
gotta do
you
a fan poll. Let the listeners decide.
All right. So this is one I'm
Top
actually excited.
3.
Big top 3 vibes.
Okay.
Songs with a T-Pain feature. He has to be featured, not the main artist. And I'm a big T-Pain fan. I don't know about you, but one of the best artists of all time, in my opinion.
Okay.
I would agree. I love T-Pain. The T Wayne mixtape that he did with Lil Wayne. One of the most underrated, unknown mixtapes, I think, possibly out there.
I wish it came out when it was made. You know what I mean?
Fire.
Coming out years later isn't going to be as cool as when you're actually in the spotlight. But it is what it is.
Okay.
All right, you want to go first or second?
I'll let you lead off.
I'm going to start off with a personal favorite of mine. And honestly, like, all of the ones that I've put up here are just classics. So it's hard to choose which one actually is my favorite. I'm going to go with T-Pain, Resident Auto-Tune Bad Boy, and Resident Woman Beater, Chris Brown.
I hate it here.
Kiss Kiss was actually an amazing song, but I can't co-sign Chris Brown these days. Chris Breezy has done way too many things that I don't fuck with, but the song will always bang. Kiss Kiss.
Okay.
That's a dope song. It's an underrated song. People forget how good that song was.
Is it really?
That shit
I feel
used
like
to
it's rated
slap
appropriately.
at the middle school after parties.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
She want that lovey-dovey. Great instrumental too.
Oh yeah. I don't know who produced it, but yeah.
Okay. Then that leaves an easy first pick for me. I gotta go Kanye, Good Life with the T-Pain feature.
That was definitely going to be the other one that was fighting for my top. Yeah.
Yeah, that video with just the white background and all the After Effects in like Adobe, like basically like graffiti shit,
Yeah.
was way ahead of its time. Fire video. That's probably my favorite track off of Graduation, I think. Maybe that or Homecoming. But just a fire song.
Absolutely amazing. I'm going to go with some DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled and T-Pain have done quite a few together, but I'm going with I'm So Hood, not the remix. Shout out the I'm So Hood remix.
Hands below my waist.
Exactly. T-Pain killed that shit, and then Trick Daddy came in on the original. First time I heard a Trick Daddy was on that song, and absolutely laid down a murder verse on the first verse. So T-Pain, Trick Daddy, I think Ross was on that one too. Yeah, DJ Khaled, I'm So Hood. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go with an out-of-the-box one because I think you may take it with your next pick.
Uh-oh.
I'm going Lonely Island, I'm on a boat. It's classic.
Yes, absolute
Classic.
classic. Yeah. And honestly, good on T-Pain for having enough, confidence in his music to do some comedy stuff. I mean, he's done funny stuff in the past. Honorable mention, do you remember that One More Drink with Ludacris?
Mm-hmm.
One more drink, I'ma get you. Yeah, that's another like funnier one. I rock with the fact that T-Pain doesn't take himself too seriously. You know what I mean? It's good.
Okay.
My last one. Bay Area superstar E40 and T-Pain. You remember the song You and Dat? Girl, I'm shaking, staking, and moving. Trying to
Oh,
get
yeah.
Yeah, you motherfuckers be
booty.
forgetting that's T-Pain, man. But that's definitely T-Pain on that chorus, and that's an amazing song. I thought, when you said you might pick my last one, I was like, dang, dude. You better not choose You and Dat. But, yes, amazing song.
Okay, there's T-Pain may be one of the best feature artists, point blank, period.
I agree.
Do I go personal or do I go with just...
You gotta go personal, man. You gotta go personal.
Okay. Then we go in all the above. We go in Mano, all the above.
Oh,
featuring
all the
T-Pain.
above.
Kind of a not very well known one, but that song used to slap.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the only Mano song that anybody knows, and it's probably in good part because of T-Pain.
Hell yeah. I know a couple Mano songs, but I'm not going to shout any of them out because I don't think Mano deserves a shout out on the podcast besides this T-Pain feature.
Okay.
Yeah. Honorable mentions, All I Do Is Win, Got Money.
No matter what. And you know it. Again on
yeah.
your pocket. Got Money is a good one. That's a good one. Honestly, most of the songs he's done with Lil Wayne are
Cyclone. She moved her body like a cyclone.
But having gone to University of Iowa, I can't co-sign that because of Iowa State. The Cyclones, they've always used that song. I can't do it. Shout out Baby Bash. Hilarious. What happened to Baby Bash? Where are they now? All right.
I don't know. What other song does he have?
Baby Bash?
Baby Bash. He has one other one.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. It's gonna take me way too long to remember a Baby Bash song. You're looking it up right now.
Baby Bash. Sugar Sugar. Sugar, how you get so fly.
Yeah.
That's better than Cyclone. But he's a two-hit wonder. Two-hit wonder.
Here we go, baby. It's the playlist time.
It's the playlist. And mark my words, I am updating the playlist tonight. I don't think I've updated it in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Uh-oh.
Because I haven't been on my shit. But I got a lot of music stored. We got some friends of the program that are about to be featured. And we got a lot of new music to throw out there. So it might end up being a brand new 25 songs. We'll see.
So go ahead and start it up then.
We're going to China. A DJ and producer out of China that I had never heard of before. He released this song and is signed under the Universal Music label in China, a division of Go East Music Entertainment and Consulting, Beijing Limited. That sounds super not owned by the government, but regardless, this is a new song from Chace, Chace, called In My Head, and kind of club house summer vibes. Big fan. So here we go.
We could be everything.
Okay, that bounce. All right.
I feel like I should be at a Vegas pool party.
Yeah, that's very like outdoor Vegas darty vibes. You know what I mean? I like that University of Arizona type shit. That's a vibe. I like that. I'm gonna go on my first one here to Kanye West and XXX Tentacion, and it's one of these things where there's so many leaks as it comes to both Kanye and X, so it's really tough to actually figure out, what's real, what's coming out, what's, never coming out, because it was just a fan-made, like, spliced together as some shit. But we finally got one of the leaks that came to fruition, True Love by X and Kanye. So I know this one's going to get us taken down, so I'm just going to have a little clip for you.
Just a little snippet.
No hard feelings, but these feelings harder. No hard feelings, but these feelings hard. No hard feelings, but these feelings harder. Wait, when you see the kids, I see
and I gave you a part that's real repetitive, but it's a good song. And this one and the one that came out, what was it called? No Shot? No, that's not what it was called. There's another one that came out really a while ago. Whatever, doesn't matter. True Love is the new one. Go check it out if you want to hear the full thing. I think they would have made great collaborators if they actually got to collab more when X was alive. What you got?
Let's see. We're hopping over to TikTok. You heard of the band Maneskin?
No. Gross.
No. They blew up on TikTok. I think last summer. They had a version of Beggin', and Yeah, that blew up on TikTok. I think they're a German band.
Okay.
But they had a single come out last week called Supermodel that is actually pretty fire. The band has like a very like 80s hairband metal vibe to it. Lots of heavy eyeliner and blonde hair.
Interesting.
But the song's kind of a vibe. So this is Man.
I fuck with that.
Kind of some radio pop rock.
Definitely radio pop rock. I hear the Begging You cover that they did. I definitely hear that in there as well. All right, bet. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to Mother Nature, right? I am a hater by choice, not by profession. But Mother Nature has dropped some songs recently that I don't necessarily fuck with that much. Chicago duo, consisting of, I believe their names are Cleva and Truth, you know? Really saying that they're not up on their, intellectual game and stuff like that. Whatever. This is a decent song, so I'm just going to let you hear it without further ado.
Vision and we get to work. It's been a hell of a year. I've been to heaven and back. Ain't too competitive there. I think it's all a distraction. I think it's all to this rap shit. Might be the rapture. Time just move faster.
And that's what I'm saying. I got to let this one speak for itself, because as much as I'm not the biggest fan of Mother Nature, that was Cleva that you just heard, and she goes in. She's a good rapper. She used the term tig old biddies at the beginning of the verse, and I'm like, why? But, do your thing, Cleva. You're so clever. Could have came up with something a little more clever than that. But I'm a hater by choice.
It's a good instrumental, too. It's
not
like,
by passion.
It was a simple instrumental, but it had just a little bit to it to make it pop.
Exactly. Real simple. Big bass vibes.
We going chill, electronic vibes. Lil Silva. Never heard of him before, but this one popped up. I think this was an Instagram targeted ad.
Hey, Instagram be getting you.
It got me over the weekend. I think this came out on Friday. Another sketch. I could talk about Lil Silva, but I wouldn't know what I'm talking about because I don't know him. So just like you did with Mother Nature, I'm gonna let the song speak for itself. So without further ado, Lil Silva, another sketch.
Absolutely wild on that. I didn't expect it to be so like blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
All of the
It's got a little bit of horns in there.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a fun, chill vibe.
Dope. Well, I'm going to go from that fun, chill vibe to Broken Souls Cult once again, who are not necessarily fun or chill, but this song...
They're fun. They're not chill.
It depends. If you're getting punched in the face, not as fun. This song is called Shut the Fuck Up and Dance. It is Jaylen, Satan, and Vomit, 2 Broken Souls Cult members, the original Broken Souls Cult members. And it's just, I don't know, it's a fun one, but it's definitely a vibe that you have to like their kind of music to like, I guess.
You got to be ready to like headbang and mosh pit.
Hear me out, you know what I mean? This song's called Shut the Fuck Up and Dance. Like a little bit of early punk influence mixed with the more dance, electronic vibe beat. Almost, a little drum and bassy. So it's everything. We got everything you could ever want.
I feel like that could be playing in the background of a car chase in Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I hope it is. Hope they get the placement. That'd be awesome.
That'd be dope.
Hell yeah. That's the playlist.
Shit. Look at that. We kept it to an hour.
Yeah, man. I think it's because we did an extra 15 minutes of recording before we actually started recording.
So we kind of talked through our first 2 subjects already?
We talked through the first 2 subjects and then proceeded to like sum up our thoughts when we went through it a second time. Yeah, it's been a long week. Thank you for sticking with us. This has been the UKNO podcast. My name is Mike Watts.
It's your boy Jay Kraft. Our technical difficulties are behind us. And now, you know.
See you later.